Welcome to Express Tribune headlines. A helicopter transporting Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi crashed in a mountainous terrain amid heavy fog, leading to a challenging rescue operation. The crash, occurring on the return from a border visit, has placed both Raisi and Iran's foreign minister at risk, who were aboard the helicopter. Rescue teams, including the Red Crescent, have reached the helicopter crash site. According to Iranian state news agency and semi-official news agency Mehr News, no survivors were found at the crash site. At least 73 rescue teams were in the area of the helicopter crash near the village of Tawil in Iran's East Azerbaijan province, according to Pir Hossein Golivand, head of the Iranian Red Crescent. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei assured no disruption to state affairs. The bad weather not only caused the crash, but is also hindering rescue efforts currently. Following the helicopter crash involving Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, global leaders have expressed their concern and offered support. President Asif Ali Zardari and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif from Pakistan shared their prayers and hopes for Raisi's safety on social media platform X. The US State Department is closely monitoring the situation, according to their spokesperson. Azerbaijan's foreign ministry posted on X, saying that Azerbaijan is ready to provide all necessary support as a friendly and brotherly state. Several Gulf countries also expressed wishes for Raisi's safety, saying they are following the rescue efforts with concern. Qatar's foreign ministry expressed readiness to provide all forms of support and said it hopes Raisi is safe. Saudi Arabia and the UAE have offered to assist in the search and rescue operations following the helicopter crash in Iran, expressing solidarity and readiness to support during this crisis. Kuwait's foreign ministry also conveyed its concern and support for Iran in these challenging times. Russia and the European Union also offered assistance in search efforts. The Turkish Defense Ministry announced that it had deployed a drone and assigned a helicopter equipped with night vision to assist in the search operation for the crash helicopter in Iran. According to the Iranian constitution, in case of a sudden death, the first vice president, who is now Mohammad Mukhbar, would take the job of president with the approval of the supreme leader. According to the Iranian political hierarchy, the head of the state is Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, and the president is considered the head of the government. When the second in command is dead, then the first vice president is going to be in charge, and in 50 days, the country needs to go to an election to elect a new president. After mobs attacked foreign students in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, the Pakistani government facilitated the repatriation of 140 students to Lahore via a special flight with plans for more evacuations. The violence was triggered by a viral video of a brawl between Kyrgyz and Egyptian students, sparking anti-foreigner sentiments. In response to the crisis, Pakistani Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi emphasized the priority of safely returning Pakistani students, while Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif committed to covering the costs of repatriation. Amidst escalating tensions, students were advised to remain indoors and were evacuated when essentials ran low. Vote counting is in progress for the Multan NA 148 by-election, previously held by PPP's Yusuf Raza Gilani, who resigned after becoming Senate chairman. The key contenders are his son Ali Qasim Gilani and PTI-supported barrister Taimur Malik. Polling, which began at 8 a.m. under stringent security, concluded at 5 p.m. across 275 stations. The election, featuring 8 candidates, saw heavy security measures, including additional police and surveillance cameras at sensitive spots. The Election Commission of Pakistan has emphasized transparency and will allow media to report unofficial results an hour post-polling. Saudi Arabia's King Salman is set to undergo another round of medical tests due to high temperature and joint pain, as announced by the state media. This marks his second set of health assessments within a month, to be conducted at the Al Salam Palace Clinic in Jeddah. The 88-year-old king, who has been on the throne since 2015, has faced several health issues previously, including a gallbladder surgery in 2020 and a colonoscopy in 2022. His son, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, manages day-to-day affairs of the kingdom, which continues to address speculation about the king's health amid significant social and economic reforms. Dominican Republic President Luis Abinader celebrated a likely re-election victory after early results indicated a commanding lead, securing 59.09% of the vote with 44% counted. His main opponent, Leonel Fernandez, acknowledged Abinader's win. Abinader, leader of the Modern Revolutionary Party and former businessman, credited his COVID-19 management, tough policies on Haiti, and anti-corruption efforts for bolstering his support beyond that of his main rivals. Hundreds of demonstrators marched through downtown Austin to protest the war in Gaza and mark the 76th anniversary of the Nakba. Participants waved Palestinian flags and rallied outside the Texas state capitol, calling for an end to the U.S. funding for the conflict. The Nakba, commemorated annually, reflects on the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians in 1948, an event central to Palestinian identity. This year's events are underscored by the recent Israeli campaign in Gaza, launched following a Hamas-led attack which has devastated the region, resulting in significant casualties and displacement. Manchester City clinched their fourth consecutive English top flight title with a 3-1 victory over West Ham United, edging out Arsenal in a climactic end to the Premier League season. Amid celebrations, Pep Guardiola hinted at potentially leaving City, stating he was closer to leaving than staying, although he confirmed no immediate plans to depart. Guardiola, who has led City to 6 titles in 7 years, expressed his exhaustion but remained committed to the upcoming FA Cup final against Manchester United. He praised his rivals, particularly Arsenal's Mikel Arteta and Liverpool's Jurgen Klopp, acknowledging Klopp's influence on his career as Klopp managed Liverpool for the last time. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky led celebrations for Alexander Usyk, who became the first undisputed world heavyweight boxing champion in 25 years after defeating British fighter Tyson Fury in Riyadh. Zelensky praised Usyk's victory as a symbol of Ukrainian strength and endurance. Usyk, who served briefly in the Ukrainian army, secured all 4 heavyweight belts simultaneously, a first in boxing history. Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko, himself a former heavyweight champion, and his brother Vladimir, who was ringside, both lauded Usyk's performance under immense pressure, emphasizing the significance of his win for Ukraine amidst challenging times. Antimicrobial resistance has emerged as the 3rd leading cause of death in Pakistan, claiming about 300,000 lives annually due to drug-resistant infections, according to health officials and experts. Pakistan ranks as the 3rd largest consumer of antibiotics globally, with antibiotics worth Rs 126 billion consumed in 2023 alone. Health authorities, including Professor Shehzad Ali Khan, Vice-Chancellor of Health Services Academy in Islamabad, highlighted the widespread misuse of antibiotics as a significant factor contributing to AMR. They emphasized the critical need for the public to use antibiotics only under professional medical guidance to combat this growing public health crisis. Abby Carter from Indio, California won the title of American Idol in the show's 3-hour season 22 finale, impressing with her original song, This Isn't Over, and a cover of Billie Eilish's What Was I Made For. Her journey began with an audition featuring the same Eilish song, captivating the judges and audience throughout the season with her emotional and powerful performances. In the finale, Carter outshone her competitors Will Mosley and Jack Blocker, with Lionel Richie praising her final rendition of Adele's Hello as her best yet. Judges including Katy Perry and Luke Bryan recognized her exceptional talent, predicting a promising music career ahead.